So this is just We the People News one more time at it. Educational purposes only. I may give my opinion, but it's opinion. Okay, do just take it with a grain of salt. Okay, I'm not giving legal advice because I'm not an attorney, nor care to be. Okay, and never look straight forward. Always look around you. Be able to protect yourself by any means necessary. All right. Use the Second Amendment. Arm yourself with knowledge. Okay, so we're going to go back to sovereignty and living. And this version right here is live right now. But the question is, if the all caps name is not proper English, then what is it? Well, let's find out. As you can tell, it's still playing on, but I kind of backed it up a little bit because this one right here, I think we all should know. Why are they using the all caps name? Hint, it's under the law of maximum, okay?
Because normally equity follows common law, which is taken from the Holy Bible, but under the Pope's martial law rule, there is no common law because it's superseded and replaced. And it's also talked about in the Causes and Necessities for Taking Up Arms, 1775. Every system of law known to civilized society generated from or had as its components one of three well-known systems of ethics: pagan, Stoic, or Christian. Common law draws its subsistence from the latter, that means Christian. Its roots go deep into that system. The Christian concept of right and wrong and justice motivates every rule of equity. It is a guide by which we dissolve domestic frictions and a rule by which all legal controversies are settled. And this is Strauss versus Strauss, a divorce case.
All right, so let's stop there for a second. Educational purposes only. All right, so there's a deal that dictates what a judge can do, and but you can use it against the judge, okay? However, when you read at the very bottom, it kind of leaves it open where all the judges can escape from, right? So, yeah, you could do this, you could do this, you can do this. But when the judges investigate judges, well, they gave themselves an out, okay? But what the issue is the rules for judges is judicial canon, which the canon came from Roman civil law, which what are they putting under here? Oh, let's see, we gotta, you know, uh, obey the civil directives when you're in court, right? And then you got criminal, but it's still civil because when there's money involved, it's still a form of suit, still a form of contract, quasi otherwise, right? So, like carrying your gun from one state to another state, they put that under the Commerce Clause. Federal still has it where it's illegal for marijuana, but when you travel, it's under what? The Commerce Clause. But what is that word? Jeez, can't think about it. Um, However, reason why they're going after the all caps name, let's check it out. Finish out what he says on that. Okay. So this was the important part to comprehend. If it's not proper English, all right, what is it? Uh-oh.
Which makes it satanic. And the Pope's private bar guild clergy Satanists are using the Pope's ecclesiastical canon Roman civil law of capitis diminutio maxima, loss of status, the use of capitalization, the highest and most comprehensive loss of status. This occurred when a man's condition was changed from one of freedom to one of bondage when he became a slave, swept away all the rights of citizenship and all family rights. Under the Commerce Clause, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 3, to assault people with their penal action for breach of quasi-contract. Penal action is an act on a penal statute, an action for recovery of penalty by statute, where an action is founded entirely upon a statute. The only object of it is to recover a penalty or forfeiture. Such action is a penal action. The words penalty, penal, and penalty in their strict primary sense denote a punishment, whether corporal or pecuniary, imposed by the state for a crime or offense against its laws. The noun penalty is defined forfeited to be forfeited for non-compliance with an agreement.
All right. So, while we're looking through this, backtracking all that, there's cases, laws in writing, all these right here. Okay? So, in order to really comprehend, you need to type that up, look at it, decipher, and remember, when you read law, it's not what it says. It's legalese. You got to break it down. You got to look up the definition and per particular words. Okay?
Which is pecuniary punishment for non-compliance with for an agreement. Okay, see here. Corporal or pecuniary for non-compliance with an agreement. All tied to the Pope's ecclesiastical Roman civil law and the Pope's quasi-contract ecclesiastical pecuniary cause. A pecuniary cause such as arise either from withholding ecclesiastical dues or the doing or neglecting of some act relating to the church whereby some damage accrues to the plaintiff towards obtaining satisfaction forthwith, he is permitted to institute a suit in the spiritual court. Such, for instance, are the subtracting or withholding of tithes from the parson or vicar, the non-payment of ecclesiastical dues to the clergy. There's all these Baal priests with these black robe uniforms in the so-called courts or clergy, as pensioners, mortuaries, compositions, and the like. And that's Book 3, Blackstone's Commentaries. And that's also taken from Holthouse, A New Law Dictionary. To populate the Pope's prisons by selling people into slavery. He, the prison, has as a consequence of a crime not only forfeited his liberty, but all his personal rights, except those which the law and its humanity affords him. He is, for the time being, a slave of the state.
Now, a few videos back, we talked about slaves, right? Well, if they created a ordinance or a statute saying they can give you a ticket for walking across the street, that is not freedom. That is enslavement. Now, back in the old days, the special slaves got to go into town and get goods and bring back to the plantation. And the other ones had to stay in the field. So, when everything everybody became free, well, the white people, okay, had to create something to put them back in slavery. This is where jaywalking came from, is to put them back in slavery, which what we call today prison. Okay? And then they went out and busted bottles or went out and man-painted the fields because they was in prison. And they had to earn their keep while they was in prison. So it was use of slavery, which still happens in some states in America today, people, believe it or not. They let them go work for some corporation. If you don't believe me, check it out. Okay? It's still happening today.
The Pope's clergy are priests of Baal, and the lower so-called courts are subjecting the petitioner to the satanic religious ceremony for their fraud, lies, deception, necromancy, and idolatry. In violation of Article 1 and Amendment, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, that the Pope's Federal Bureau of Investigation refuses to investigate, and the Pope's United States Attorney refuses to prosecute. With their weaponized Department of Justice, it should be renamed the Department of Justice, because they intend to engage in war crimes in violation of Article 3 of the Geneva Convention relative to the protection of civilians in a time of war of 1949. by taking reprisals against the petitioner for political beliefs and religious beliefs, evidencing that the Pope's owned and operated United States has no intention of prosecuting anyone for war crimes unless it happens to fall within their political agenda. Trump even paid.
All right. So these are We the People News. Check that out. Okay. Till next time. Bye, y'all.